Why the 2021 Porsche 911 Turbo S gets a huge power boost. Land vehicle, automotive design, sports car, performance car, supercar, rim, wheel, Porsche. It's no surprise to see the massive power of the Porsche 911 Turbo. However, first seeing the 640 horsepower figure for the new 992 Turbo S. To date, only the 911 wore the GT2 RS badge producing that much power, but now, one of the regular production models already available. The Porsche 911 Turbo S 2021 is a 640 HP monster. The 991 generation Turbo S that comes out has 580 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. The new one increases the horsepower by 60, and increases the torque by 74 pound-feet, to 590 pound-feet. After the debut of the 992 Turbo S, the answer is a beautiful reflection of the absurd world we live in. If you take a 580 HP car and add an extra 20 or 30 HP, you won't really feel it, says Dr. Walliser by phone call with Road and Track. Porsche says the new Turbo S is 0.2 seconds faster at 60 miles per hour than its predecessor, and perhaps more impressively, a full second faster at 124 miles per hour. The engine on the 992 Turbo S has the same 3.8-liter capacity as its predecessor, but the stride is slightly shorter, and the compression ratio has decreased from 9.81 to 8.71. This is also not a development of the 991 engine, it is based on 3.0 liters on the Carrera model. Walliser said that Porsche ended up with similar displacement figures because with modern direct injection engines, achieving the ideal ratio between bore and stroke is essential to make combustion as clean as possible. And that makes 3.8 liters. There are other detailed changes between the 992 Turbo S and the 991. As in the new Carrera, the intercooler has been moved to the top of the engine, not the rear. The charge air cooler is now at the rear of the engine, while the air filter has been moved to the fender. Variable turbine geometry turbos now feature larger internals, with turbine wheels turning in the opposite direction and an electronically controlled wastegate. Land vehicle, automotive design, supercar, luxury vehicle, performance car, Porsche, sports car, Porsche 911. Porsche. Land vehicle, car, automotive design, supercar, sports car, performance car, wheel, rim, alloy wheel. Suggested that while the 60 HP bump was significant, the hefty torque gain was what most drivers would notice. To counter the extra torque, the new 911 8-speed PDK gearbox gets a bigger clutch package, and the hardware that gets power to the front wheels has also been strengthened. And once the turbo reaches the thrust pressure that's really impressive, the car is a little more raw. The old turbo is a speed demon, but it can feel a little cold and distant. Porsche still positions this one as the luxurious Grand Tourer of the 911 lineup, but it should feel a little more sport car than before. In terms of chassis, the 992 Turbo S is not much different from its predecessors, or the new Carrera models. The front track width is actually the same as the 992 Carrera, which makes it slightly shorter than the old Turbo. This was done to include a slightly wider tire at the front 255/35/20s. The rear tires and wheels have also gotten bigger, now measuring 315/30/21. Porsche will also offer an inferior sport suspension to make the Turbo S a better handler, and a standard, active anti-roll bar, and rear-wheel steering. Porsche has yet to set a Nürburgring time on the new 911 Turbo S, and when the weather is better in Germany. The car is on its way, but Porsche chose to launch the Turbo S first, because it's the more popular model. Walliser also told Auto Express that Porsche is working on a slightly more stripped-down and lightweight version of the Turbo S, which will arrive later this year. The power figures may come as a surprise at first, but it's no surprise that the new Turbo S is stacked up to be such an amazing machine. Porsche has a good base with the 992, and the fact that the company aims to make the new Turbo feel rougher than its predecessor sounds like a good thing. We can't wait to see how it works.